It just never ends, does it? Dr. Driscoll busting bits. It's been an incredibly long time. I was enjoying my time and tranquility, peace of enlightenment. Your boy finally understood, you know, what the world is. I was seeing life in a whole new light and just really taking it in. And then some bullshit happened. Recently, my homie sent me a game called Tinkerlands. I was like, dope. You know, I played it, instantly fell in love with the demo. One of the most polished games, one of the most like well-made games I've played in a while. I went and joined the Discord community. I was a part of it. I loved it for a little bit. Everything was fine. I even got to play test it, like a closed play test. It's phenomenal. I would invite you guys to go play it, but that's where the crux of my issue is today. So I wanted to go back and play the demo, the one that got me into the game in the first place. The developer updated the demo to be the playtest. I had a glowing review for the demo that I played. Now I don't. The developer didn't like that, or one of the developers didn't like it. Called me out on the community. Shortly after, I was banned. This bullshit was so profoundly stupid that it brought me out of retirement, and now I have to respond to this bullshit because of a person's weak ego. I want to go ahead and talk about some things because this person asked me to explain why I gave it a bad review as to compare it to the demo that came before. And I gladly will do that. And when I told him I would rather talk about this because, you know, maybe words are kind of hard to understand. Sometimes I could write something and it could come across wrong. That's literally why now we have tone indicators in speech, because no one can understand and everyone takes things differently. You know, talking, you can actually talk things out. And if there is a tone influx that becomes hostile, you can at least check the other person and go, hey, I think you're being a little hostile. Oh shit, my bad. You know what I mean? And we could try to do this a better way. He didn't want to do that.
I don't want peace. I want problems, always.
When I told him I'd rather talk because I'm done writing, because unlike you, I actually take time and decisive thinking when I write shit. I got my fucking review up, 5th of May, 2025. There was an update to the demo. You know, while it is in early access, I've made my rule. If you're willing to release a playable game, it is liable for criticism. I gave a glowing review for the demo. That's not the full game. So why can't I give a review for the early access? I'm kind of tired of this whole double standard of, it's not the full game. We're still working on it. This, that, and the third. Well, then work on it. Don't give me a fucking early access. I'm just gonna judge it for what it is. And not only that, early access truly is a cash grab in its truest form, right? The game's nowhere near done. People get to pay for it, and then it may never be done. Just to note this, I want to check something real quick. Holy fucking shit. Craftopia is still in fucking early access. And for those who don't understand, Craftopia was the first game made by Pocket Pair, who ended up doing Power World. That's 2023 since I wrote my review for that. So anyway, fast forward to now. Lack of cohesive design, direction. At times it feels like I'm a sailor or castaway exploring complex islands, while other times it feels like I'm playing top-down Terraria knockoff with some design ideas that are out of place. In the beginning of Tinkerlands, you start on one massive island. Poor design choice, because after a while you get to sail into other islands, but the other islands are empty and bare because you have 4 biomes, like islands are separated into different biomes, stuck on your main island. Which means that the other islands that are already on your island, it's just bloated, it's unnecessary bloat. But there are 3 other islands that actually matter. The whole idea is islands, ships, nautical theme, all that bullshit. Dope. I don't have any issue with themes. You know what I mean? Like I said, I played Fae Farm because I wanted to farm as a fairy. Don't judge me. If you make a game good enough, nigga, let me be the fairy. You start off on a main island, a beach lowland. Then you can go into grasslands, which feels like Terraria. Even the sound of the game feels like Terraria. I did note that. The desert, same thing. Nothing really unique there. It's just the golems, mummies, blah, blah, blah. Nothing really fits the theme. But then you go to a place like the coral reefs, which feel absolutely like you're in an island adventure game. Or you go to the jungle, which is, you know, jungles are jungles, but it still feels like your island adventure game. Even in the mines of the first island, because the mines are only available in the first island from what I understand, there are pirate skeleton creatures down there that, by the way, aren't reused on another place called the Ghostlands, which is literally all dead creatures. You could have reused those over on that island to make it more of a nautical theme. This is like the most symbolic change that you did that could help my argument 100%. The currency used to be called doubloons. Now the currency are literally the coin system from Terraria. So gold, silver, and copper coins. Now, the reason why this is extremely symbolic is because not only did it show you had a comprehensive theme that you were trying to go for, it also shows that the game was polished. I have footage. People before would play it. You would pick up doubloons. The doubloon would go where? In the doubloon slot, where your money is. Yes. There was no issue. I just played this demo today, and the exact same problem I marked as a bug, you still didn't fix. And that is when your inventory is full, you cannot pick up coins. Your coins, when you pick them up from chest, go right into your inventory instead of the designated area you designed for money to go to. It is broken. A game that was good and polished is no longer that. P.S. People have made videos saying that this game is polished and whatnot. But it's not anymore, is it? And it had so many issues, which I'm glad you're working on in the playtest, but how did they get there when the demo was smooth? It felt like you already had something, and then you fucking bait and switch. That's my biggest issue. What was a playable, smooth demo with little to no issues has become a vast playground of bugs and unnecessary reworks. Before 5/5/2025, there was a demo that was amazing and showed this game had promise, but like many games that go into early access, they opted for what I believe is a cash grab like design, which is when you slow the game down, or my homie said front load it with a bunch of content, and then after like 2 hours or whatever, you realize, oh shit, there's not much in this game, and then it's too late to get your refund. That's cash grabbing, stupid. Like I said, you front loaded the game, if that's what my homie wants to call it, or if that's what it is, whatever. Where the gameplay loop is extremely slow, bloated, and lifeless. Things that should be fun, like exploration, become a chore compared to games like Terraria and Starbound, even though Necess or Forager are more relatable because, like I said, I think those games are whatever. And then Core Keeper also, I didn't throw that in there, but it's another game that does it a little bit better. But the reason why it becomes a chore is because at every island, you always have to do two things, and anyone in the community can tell you what those two things are. Collect the mineral of that land and collect the wood of that land. And that's for every place. And here's the kicker. The wood for every place is only as good as the wood it is needed for, the material that is needed for making the pickaxe and the axe. That is it. But you need those because you have tool tiers and that stop things. For example, there's a item that I had called the Enchanted Axe, which does 6, I guess, axe damage or whatever. That's good. It chops down trees really quick. However, it's a tool tier 2. So that means it cannot chop down wood that is any higher than whatever you decide for the tool tiers of things to be. But lo and behold, I get weapons or tools that have a higher tool tier that do less damage. Why?
Also, a little backstory on the items you see. I believe you need the Spider Omni tool in order to mine the material on the next island. So it is mandatory to have that tool rather than have the magic axe, which could mine trees a lot faster.
Because you want to slow things down. So you make the game more grindy. You make the game feel like, it's longer than what it is because you're working on things. Dude, you don't have to do that. There's a game I played that was a porn game that just lets you hit the end of wherever they were in the early access. I did that. I came back and then I passed that level when they completed the entire game and beat the entire game. Crazy that a porn game has more fucking ethics standards than you. The balancing issues I also wrote about because the thing that kind of goes right back into how the game played beforehand compared to what product you're pushing out. The balancing issues. I'm not going to say the old demo was perfect, but what I am going to say is that it felt fun, and that's all you really need in a game is for something to feel fun. One of the main examples of feeling fun is reforging. Those who play Terraria understand reforging is when you put your tool to the goblin and you re-click to get the prefix, gives it better perks and stuff like that. This game has that. So beforehand, when the doubloon was there, I could do it multiple times. I could farm the main slime boss. I could, kill him several times, get a bunch of doubloons, and just do it 5 or 6 times, even though, I'd still run out, which is fine. It made it fun. It made me want to go kill bosses to get the money to reforge. It felt good. I could do it multiple times. But now, with the coin system, because everything costs 1 gold, It's kind of hard to do that when bosses didn't give you 1 gold or don't give you 1 gold. So you have to now go through the entire land, kill a bunch of different things, gather that money, come back just so you can now reforge maybe 1 or 2 times. That's worse. That's worse. Now, because you slowed it down, I don't like it. I want fun, not slow bullshit. Things like bosses and enemy become easier as you got better with armor accessories. That's not the case now. And things like the economy are now unbearable and hyperinflated, which they are. Everything's like a gold, like I said, because you can't figure out how to price things right under the new system where everything was just fine before. Below, I talk about putting 24 hours in a demo, and that is what that was for the main island. The other thing is, in the demo that I played before, the other issue I have now that I get a bigger scope of your game is that you put all the best things you wanted to showcase first on that island, sent that out, and then now we just don't get all that what you put in that first island. That's like you go into a restaurant, you want this, but instead you get this. You go shopping, you want this, but instead you get this. I fucking go to a massage parlor, I want this, and I end up with this. Anyway, the game isn't so bad that I recommend you don't play it. I, in fact, always encourage those to find out themselves. Sadly, many of you won't be able to find out what a great demo this was, and instead will be only able to play what they are trying to push. I really wish the devs good luck and hope they learn from this mistake. I was still trying to be cordial in the end, but your little bitch boy ego, this motherfucker wrote like a paragraph or 2 and then kicked me out as I was trying to read his shit. The thing I got from this is he wanted me to explain this. I explained it to you, stupid. You said something real quick about I was trying to hurt the game. One bad review does not hurt the game. People can play this and still find joy in where I don't find joy. Do you understand? That's how games work. I am one person in a sea of whatever. I'm not even an influencer. But this video, this is probably what's gonna hurt you. The issue is I don't really care about trying to hurt a game or not. I only care if the game is good or not, and if the practice is there for the game to be good. There are games I've played that are great. For example, the demo. You cannot keep changing the demo and saying this is what the game is now. That's not how that works. The demo should have been something that was already for what the game is supposed to be. Example, I just played a game called 𝐓𝐴𝐷𝐿𝐷𝐵. They had a demo, which by the way, they got rid of the demo. 𝐓𝐴𝐷𝐿𝐷𝐵, you're fucking felling me here. Now they released their game, and I assume that the game is exactly the way it is that I played in the demo. Crazy. There could be some minor changes here and there. That's fine, all right? Big things can change, but if big things change, like in another game I played, Cyberpunk 2077, where they came out with their 2.0, I might not like it as much, and that's true for that. It happens. Change isn't always good. Piss poor or whatever. I understand. Maybe this is your baby. I get it. You're a developer, you're 3 developers going, well, we're trying really hard, but no, it really doesn't feel like that. It feels like you keep trying to make a game in which you're trying to appeal to people. Maybe people keep saying it's like Terraria, so you're like, yeah, we should really lean into the fact that it's like Terraria. Stupid, you idiot. That's not what you're supposed to do. You had a theme. Do you not have a game design document you pull from? Then why do you keep changing it? Like I said, the doubloon was the most symbolic change of your game. And that's gone now. So guess what? Your game's now shit to me. I didn't mark a box when I did playtest to say I wouldn't speak about the playtest. Okay? So, if that's what you're kicking me out for, cool. In this particular case, this isn't just an ass whooping for 𝐴𝐷𝐷𝐿𝐷𝐵, alright? This is an ass whooping for any developer who does this shit. This isn't just a 𝐴𝐷𝐷𝐿𝐷𝐵 and Tinkerlands people issue. This is an issue across the board. If you had a demo, right, and you wanted us to play what it was, and you were building off of that, the demo is what it is. But in your case, you're about to launch early access when you can't even figure out what direction your demos are going. All this to say, I'm very disappointed in where this game is going. Don't act like you're a fucking victim or I'm hurting your game because of this one bad review on top of a glowing review. Not only that, when I was in the server, I glazed you again and told you I'm rooting for you guys. You're not even mad because of this review. You're just mad because your ego. You're mad because I'm probably right. And you have to hurry up and get rid of me before I let on people about your fucking game. And I think it's extremely unfair, like I said, that I wrote this glowing review of yours. You switch up the demo on me, and now this glowing review would have been on your demo. People played this game beforehand. They probably went on with their life. They didn't even think about it because it was a demo. I want to know how those people feel about you switching from one demo to the next, then from one demo to the next. 3 demos in and still going early access. But don't sit here and act like
you're a victim
when you're trying to sabotage your game because you don't know where this game is going. Dr. Driscoll, I bust into bits of not just this code Manu fuck, but any developer who wants to do this as well. This is a ass whooping for generations of developers who think they can just come up here and do this dumb shit. And then have a fit like I'm the guy in the wrong. Fuck you, stupid. And I hope your game still does well even after this, just to prove to you that I can't really sabotage your game. I don't know what else to say here. Fucking bye.